Well, what is then empathic repair as opposed to narcissistic repair? Well, of course, empathic repair is the best possible manifestations in external reality in the world of other people, of objects, of social relations, of the drive to repair, of the desire to repair. It is a less self-interested mode of repair, where one becomes genuinely more empathic with the people who are hurting, the people who are suffering. And this heightened empathy, right? It's not like an innate gift. That's what's important. I'm not saying that in the population of NI dominance, particularly, and strong NI users, where the fantasy of repair is strong, I'm not saying that there are some in that population that are more empathic than others. Or perhaps, to be more precise, that there are some who are born more empathic than others. It's true that, we don't have all the same childhoods. And depending on the kind of childhoods that we have, we will be more or less conditioned to be empathic or not. That can be worked on, of course. And actually, if I have time, I will return to this question, because that's the impact of environment and nurture on our empathy is crucial. But what's important to really appreciate is that the NI dominant who practices empathic repair is by definition spiritualized, or at least largely spiritualized, because they are not self-interested. But the reason why they're not self-interested is not that they have let go completely of their narcissism, because that's impossible, and that's in fact it's not good. It's not good. There is a strong connection with the religious theme in Christianity. Most approaches, most understandings of Christianity, with original sin and brokenness, human brokenness. I think that the spiritualized NI dominant is someone who is accepted, someone who's made peace with the fact that they are essentially what I call in my NI notes a broken subject. Now that sounds scary, but in fact I think it's part of the self-healing that's necessary for being a practitioner of empathic repair. The kind of brokenness I'm talking about is, well, yes, I do have a fantasy of repair, and to some extent that's always going to be partly self-interested, but I'm under no illusion about this. I've brought this to consciousness, right? In a sense, this is also what psychoanalysis aims at. More freedom over our actions. More of a sense that we have ownership of what we're doing, because we're more aware of the dynamics at play. There's more freedom from that, instead of being the prisoner of dynamics that we have no control over. So the practitioner of a more narcissistic kind of repair is convinced that they really are super altruistic and helpful, and that others need to be helped, and that their addiction to helping is only a sign that they are so empathic and that they are so altruistic. It's almost like an illness. And in fact, in a sense, it is. The practitioner of empathic repair is that same person with the awareness of what's going on. That's, strangely enough, or maybe not so strangely, allows them to take some distance with regard to the self-interested aspects in repair, in order to say, look, I know that I'm doing this, and despite knowing that I'm doing this, I'm still going to repair with that awareness that I am myself broken. It facilitates empathy, because in a sense, you're approaching a somewhat broken person in need of this repair, in need of this cure, of this healing, but you're approaching as someone who has now this awareness that you are yourself broken. You can see how the link of empathy here is vastly enhanced. It's also obviously coming with lesser envy. It's also coming with more humility. The desire for repair is not going to disappear, because that's the symbolic knot at the heart of your core fantasy. So it's still going to be there, manifested usually in, grand schemes, which are the hallmark of NI, compared to maybe other types whose repair fantasies have less grand, sort of globalist, metaphysical aspirations, but that's okay. It's just filtered through a different type. And maybe the repair fantasy is not quite at the center. But what's important to appreciate is, again, this distinction between narcissistic repair and empathic repair. You understand it's a spectrum. You understand it's a continuum. It's not like one category here and one category there. That's not how we reason here. Nevertheless, the preponderance of empathic repair requires coming to terms with the narcissism that is always going to be there to some extent, the self-directedness of the drive to repair. We cannot avoid it because we were born human. Okay, guys? If you would like to support me, really consider supporting me on Patreon, guys. Of course, give a like to this video because it helps with the referencing. My videos haven't been doing as well lately, and I think it has to do with the algorithm. So if you want to support me on this, give me a like, and also consider supporting me on Patreon because I could not do this without you, and I need you more than ever. People who have joined my Patreon are pretty happy that they have. They get access to this whole vault of exclusive video content, long formats discussing deep topics, deep dives. You get access to that, as well as our Discord server. Join our community of Jungian existentialists on our Discord server. You get exclusive access to it by becoming a patron. The link to my Patreon is below. And finally, guys, there's 2 books that I want to show you. My latest book on the INFJ, The Infinite Soul, on how INFJs can find fullness, happiness, and purpose as INFJs in a difficult world for INFJs, and more internally speaking, the Ecstatic Soul, which is more by the INFJ's internal world consciousness and the mind of the INFJ. 2 books are well together. The links are directly available below, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye.